Hey, good morning, good afternoon, happy Monday. Damon Pistolka, handsome devil, how are you, dude?
Great and ready to go.
All right, well, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is going to be a blockbuster. Man, your neighbors right up the road, Damon. We just went
Yes.
right up the street to your friends in Alaska. So
Yep.
let's start with the lovely, wonderful, amazing human being, Sami Jo Lewis. Good morning, Sami. How are you?
Good morning. I am doing pretty good today. This was my daughter's first day going to daycare, so it was a busy
Ooh,
morning this
It's a
morning.
big day.
how'd it go?
I don't know. I mean, she's gone. So fingers crossed it's going well. She just got dropped off a little bit ago.
Well, of course, I was referring to mom. How's mom doing?
Yeah.
Oh, me, it's gonna be a good thing. I'm a little sad. Big sister was super excited to take her though.
So
Nice.
big sister got little sister to daycare. Well, good luck. Super exciting. Big day today. So speaking of big day, we've got our dear friend, the amazing, what a wonderful entrepreneur we have, Don Habeger. So Don, how are you? Happy Monday. What's happening, man?
Well, thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Damon. It's a pleasure being here. I'm great. And what makes days like this great is it's not raining in Juneau, Alaska.
Yeah. Yep.
And so that's a rarity, right? So coming in the end of September. Damon, you were just up in Juneau, were you not?
Yes, we just passed through on one of those lovely love-hate cruise ships that stop there. I know for the locals, it's a love-hate relationship, but yeah, it was the typical cloudy, sunny, little bit of rain.
That's right. So, all right. So let's dive in. So, Don, long time, newer entrepreneur, if you will. Just for friends out there, just share a little bit about your background, your past, and then we want to dive into your entrepreneurial journey, how you dove into manufacturing. Please share with folks a little bit about your background.
Certainly. My background is a little bit varied. Since Damon brought up the Port of Juneau, I ran the Port of Juneau for 20 years. And so got a lot of experience with cruise ships. And by the way, Damon, that evolved into a government relations position with, at that time, the second largest cruise line in the world. And I managed essentially half of North America as far as territory for government relations, all the way from Hawaii up to Alaska on over to the east coast of Canada. And after that, we have a number of recessions. So moving on, did a stint with state government, was a deputy commissioner of one of our departments here in Alaska. And then finally, because government also changes and a new governor came in and decides to downsize the workforce, you do something different. So that's when I went fishing, because in some of my spare time prior to that, I built a boat and had to use it. So once I got on the water, I figured there were better ways to make fishing lures. And that's how I got started in manufacturing, trying to solve my problem to hold scent on salmon lures longer, better. And ended up with a patent on that particular idea, and now in manufacturing.
Wow, Don.
Yes.
So I've known you for years, and I learned quite a few things just in that little spread. So, okay, Don, were you were you on cruise ships? Like, did you go on cruises, take advantage of this opportunity, or not so much?
Well, for work purposes, absolutely. And I've only been kind of a customer of a cruise line a couple of times. All the other travel was for work.
For work. All right. So, question: outside of the amazing, incredible, wonderful port of Juneau, which is the best port on the planet because of your leadership, what's the second best port that you've ever visited?
I'm going to say Fort Lauderdale, only because I had an opportunity to do some work with Fort Lauderdale, and I fell in love with the people there, and I think it's a great place.
Nice.
Wonderful. All right. Well, great answer. Hey, we've got a couple friends here today, Damon. Trish is in the house.
Trish is stopping by.
Trish,
Hi, Trish.
happy Monday. Just doing wonderful work that she does, helping manufacturers figure out that whole translation thing. We've got Diane Byer in the house. So, Diane, happy Monday. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. She yells out fishing. So, Sami Jo, let's go here. You're with the Alaska MEP. Longtime friend, repeat offender on the program. Damon, we've been in person. We've been out to dinner with her and her wonderful. We got to get back up there so we can have dinner with the whole family.
Both daughters.
So, Sami Jo, just share a little bit about yourself, your background, and while you're there, who's the Alaska MEP?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me on, Kurt and Damon. Always wonderful to be here. So thank you so much. I've been with the MEP for going on a little over 4 years now. So that's super exciting. I started on as the client services manager. I'm now the communication and outreach manager. The MEP is a resource for manufacturers. There is an MEP in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. And so it's a really great program and resource to help the manufacturers grow in their state, whether that is e-commerce strategies, exiting your business strategies. I know we've had lots of workshops with you guys. We have lean, we have supply chain optimization, ISO certifications, food safety. Really just want to be the resource to manufacturers to call and hopefully get them connected and help them grow the state economy. And then since it's a national resource, if we don't know, we can just kind of call in on our neighbors and get it figured out that way. So it's been just a really wonderful program to be a part of.
Well, you guys are doing amazing work. Shout out to your entire team, Dr. Alyssa, Megan, and everybody else out there, Peyton, and just love what you guys are doing. Just so wonderful to partner with you. And so, Don, let's go here. Long time, just doing a wonderful work for the great state of Alaska. And then all of a sudden this whole entrepreneurial bug hits you later in your career. Talk a little bit about, how did it go from, hey, solving my own problem. I'm out fishing. I think there's a better way. How did it go from idea, hobby to business? Can you kind of walk us through that process?
First of all, it's a learning experience. So from hobby, one thing I forgot to mention, Kurt, is that I actually have two businesses. And so I do have a service, government relations, community development business. That is my full-time business. It's the one that provides enough profit to invest in SenseStriker. So with that caveat, I consider SenseStriker my hobby business. So I wanted to put that in framework. Going into a hobby business, first of all, is a labor of love. You have to know that there are going to be challenges along the way. You have to know that challenges become at times unexpected, and I can explain that one a little bit later. And you have to be willing to accept those challenges and then roll up your sleeves and move past them. Let's take just a simple one as an example. Shipping to Alaska from the lower 48 is just it's an interesting endeavor. For example, I need 2-ounce bottles for some of the scent product that I now manufacture. And you can pick those bottles up for like 40, 50 cents with cap, and shipping them to Alaska, usually on an overnight express, is almost triple the cost of the bottle itself or a package of bottles. Mm-hmm. So overcoming those kinds of challenges, you just have to be willing to work through it.
Yeah, there definitely are disadvantages. Sami Jo, that proximity, the geography, and you're facing it with multitude of your clients. What do you face? What do you see? What are some of the conversations you have with manufacturers in Alaska facing that challenge?
No, absolutely. That's definitely been a huge challenge, is supply chain, and I think that it's not easy to be a manufacturer in the state of Alaska. There's no way around that. It's people that are manufacturers in Alaska. I mean, they love it. They have a passion for it, and they're sticking by their brand, Alaska Made, and it is incredible. But there's definitely a huge, resilience to these manufacturers because of our geography and where we're located. Supply chain is just constantly an issue. So we actually have a supplier scouting through NIST that helps. If you're looking for a tool or a product or something to help make your item, we can get that sent out. We actually got a grant this year, so now we have a SCOIN is what it's called, but it's a supply chain optimization manager. And so I'm not saying that all of these issues are fixed. They're definitely not going to be fixed, but we have somebody on our team now full time who is dedicating helping supply chain optimization and maybe just finding some loopholes and just pulling in on our resources. But again, some of these logistically, they're going to be there.
Yeah, you bring up some good challenges, though, Sami Jo. It's logistics, right? We know there's a lot of distance, and if a small manufacturer can partner with a bunch of other manufacturers and go, hey, let's all go in and put a container together, because if we plan ahead and we do this, that's huge savings over a year for somebody. Even if you had 100 manufacturers with a few pallets or a pallet each in there, it would be a great thing. So that's cool how you guys can work with a bunch of people. Whereas I'm sitting here, Don's sitting there, and we're going, wow, it's going to be hard to get those bottles. But if I can coordinate with the MEP and we have a whole bunch of people putting bottles on, I can plan, and maybe my bottles for next year come that way, and I'm a lot better off.
Right. No, absolutely. And another big way that the supplier scouting has really helped is if you're sourcing product and maybe you're spending, a little bit more than you'd want to. You're able to fill out now, and we have it on our website. You're able to fill it out a form, and then we're able to send that out. And so then you have a bunch of different options, and maybe you're able to find the exact thing you're getting, but maybe at a discounted rate. And so you're able to save money that way. And then vice versa, we also get the forms of other people in other states that are filling it out. So we have those opportunities as well on our website. So if all of a sudden you're looking to hey, I know how to make that, and now I can make money off of that, and somebody else needs it, they are able to get connected with that opportunity as well.
Nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And again, what a wonderful resource. So manufacturers out there, reach out to, of course, if you're in the great state of Alaska, reach out to Sami Jo. She would love to help you anytime. And so for any other states that you're coming to us from, reach out to your local manufacturing extension partnership, and they are there for your service. Just all sorts of wonderful attributes, resources that they have on your, just really to help manufacturers move the needle. Don, let's come back to you, my friend. As longtime civil servant, just doing wonderful work for the great state of Alaska, your community in Juneau. Entrepreneurship. What are some of the? So we talked a little bit about the challenges. What are some of the really? I might put you on the spot on this one. What are some of the really fun, exciting things about being an entrepreneur that maybe you're like, geez, I didn't think about that, or that you've really cherished or enjoyed? Anything that you want to share as far as the excitement on entrepreneur side?
Certainly. Not sure you wanted to hear it this way, but one of the most exciting things is in the middle of the day, if I need to go test a lure, I get to go fishing. So
yep.
Why not go out and
make sure it works.
Make sure it works, right? That's Sami Jo, Damon, I don't know if you knew that Sami Jo and I were going to start a chocolate manufacturing business, but she was worried I'd eat us out of business, right? Sami Jo. So, we face the same challenge. But Don, I think that's phenomenal, and I really want to run into this. I was saying, you took a passion, something that you love. There was a challenge, there was a frustration, and Sami Jo, it seems like how many clients that we work on, I have a problem. I can't find a solution. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? I'm going to take the bull by the horns. I'm going to create my own solution. And that little hobby evolves into a business. So Don, let's talk about Scent Striker and why is your fishing lure, honest to goodness, the best on the planet? Don't be modest.
Well, thank you. We have two products. We have three products, but the number one product that began it all is I was looking for a solution, like I said, to hold a fish attractant or a scent product on artificial lures. And I scoured the West Coast anytime I went looking for a fiber ball with the hole in the center. Oddly, it did not exist. So we have the fiber ball with the hole in the center that you can put on your line or leader in combination with any artificial lure or natural bait if you like. I have a few customers that use it with natural bait. And the point is, and we've developed what we consider the bait bite hypothesis. And really the bait bite hypothesis is that fish use all their senses to find their prey or their food source. And the more senses that you ignite in your fishing lineup, the better your response for that fish. So you want to add action. You want to add scent. You want to add really sight. Many fishermen and women certainly know about action, sight, those kinds of color. But increasing that led to product number 2. There's a common fishing product for at least salmon fishermen, which is what I'm most familiar with. It's called a bullet head. And product number 2 is we put the fins to spin the bullet head. So we have a design patent on that. And those fins now increase skirt action and it doesn't twist your line or leader. So that's product number 2. That's why it's the best out there. And then Kurt, you and I just mentioned or talked about product 3. It's in design right now. I'm waiting on some specifications for wire manufacturers to see if I can get what I envision. And if I get positive response on that, we'll go to the go try patent that idea. And so we're working on product 3. So that's where we're at.
Nice.
Well, super exciting, Damon. We got a couple of friends here that I'm going to pull up. So we got Muhammad here gives a wave. We got Fifi gives a bunch of thumbs up. So happy Monday. Diane says we are all better together. Couldn't agree with you more.
Way to go, Diane.
Says it's a great way to make logistics affordable to keep the price. So as you were describing, Damon. And then Diane says, love it. I think I need to test a lure.
Yeah.
Why don't we, Damon, do you want to add a comment? Because I'm going to go ahead. Let's take a little road trip. And look, how about we go on a fishing trip instead of a road trip? I'm going to show off Don's website. So here we go. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. And hey, how about this wonderful website right there? Scent Striker. There we go, Don.
Yeah.
So walk us through. You just mentioned you're diving into a few products here. What is what the heck is that email right there?
You gotta
get up, sign up, Kurt.
Scroll down and click the X.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Okay, so let me make this a little bit bigger and so people can see this. So Don, walk us through what we're seeing here with your website.
Certainly. What you're looking at is the new, what year are we in? 24 products. So this is skirted vortex. And you look at the, on the left side of the lure on your screen is the turbo finned bullet head. And so as this rotates, as you drag the product through the water, those fins now turn your skirts. So you're increasing your action, really what you're doing. And that skirt spins around your liner leader. Often what I'll do is right behind the bullet head, I'll add a couple of Scent Striker balls, fill those full of scent, and I've got the complete package. I've got color, I've got action, and frankly, action is needed because I believe fish, through their lateral lines and other mechanisms, feel their environment. And so if you're adding that action, we call it sound. Often fish feel it, but it's the same percussion wavelength that you see in the air. And so they're going to feel that lure. In fact, some studies say that fish are so sophisticated in hearing or feeling that it's like 3D radar, and they sense that around them. So we're trying to use all of those senses again to add more fish to your fish box.
Yeah. So how has this changed the way that you fish?
I use my products exclusively, and
Nice.
our goal is really to fill our freezer with fresh fish for the winter, and that
Yeah.
has always been what we're after, and we have not failed yet.
There you go. Okay, boom. Easy. That's good.
So
Very
and
cool.
there's and you have some wonderful taglines here, and I think what the dinner bell, like, what's the dinner bell?
Yeah. So cool.
Well, dinner bell smell is, you and I remember a home cooked meal or a favorite meal through odor from mom. So why can't fish do that? Now, one of the phenomena about salmon particularly is they come to their home stream where they were reared or hatched, really, born through smell. So why not take advantage of that? And so dinner bell smell is, I went to our local hatchery. I asked them what they feed their smolt and fry before they release them. I incorporated part of that into dinner bell smell. And it's just a reminder that salmon coming back, at least to our waters, recognize that and go, oh, I'm going to bite that. I remember that odor very well.
Just like mom's home cooking.
Just like mom. So fish smell prey, and I just absolutely love this. And Don, here, you won the best fishing tackle in the Fish Alaska magazine. You've got it pointed out right here.
Yeah.
And so you've got a fantastic. We've got a couple of videos. I've got another video that I'm going to pull up here in a second. So, Sami Jo, your thoughts on, you've been working with Don for years, and you've watched the evolution of, like, when he got things started and now has built a really nice website. He's getting into e-commerce. Your presence of working with an entrepreneur like Don, a manufacturer, as you watch him grow.
No, this has been absolutely amazing. I've loved being able to keep in touch with Don and just see all the wonderful products that you keep on producing. And your website has just been phenomenal. Like, it has just grown so much. And I just absolutely have loved being able, you're working on your third product now. So that's amazing. And I'm looking at all of these and I'm like, man, these are probably just going to be Christmas gifts for my dad and brother is what I'm
making people happy.
See, you know what, Don, you're not just helping all the fisher folks. You're making people's Christmas shopping much easier, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope so. One of the problems I have is I don't know e-commerce well enough. And Kurt, that's why I got connected to you way back when. Both you, Sami, Damon, you always encourage me to do something. I confess I don't always get those checklists ticked off, but you always come back. You're always friendly. You're always say, how can we help? And I, as a manufacturer, as somebody trying to come up with new ideas, that is so important and so valuable.
Well, thank you, Don. We appreciate that, and it's truly a privilege. And you know what? I think, Sami, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, we were doing a little marketing cohort, and Don, you graciously came in. And the thing is we never take that for granted. Manufacturers, entrepreneurs, they're busy. They have 1,000 things to do. You have a lot of different choices, and it's like, all right, who do I trust? And so, we never take that trust for granted. So thank you for your friendship, your trust to work with the Alaska MEP, work with Damon and myself. And so, while we're going there, you shared a wonderful video. And so if you don't mind, I am going to shamelessly show. I've got it right here. All right, there you guys go. All right, you see this? Damon, wait till you see this video. This is awesome. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Yeah, let's watch it. That's really cool.
I love it. Get bit. I love it. And I love how the AK stands out.
Yeah.
So
this, isn't that awesome? So Don, so just share a little bit. You got Vortex. Just can you educate folks? Like, what are we looking at there?
As I said earlier, we put the spin fin on a very common lure called the bullet head. And really, what it does is it imitates that bait fish. And there's an old, at least for salmon fishermen, there's this sort of, I'll call it wives' tale. I'm not sure if that's appropriate, but the thought is that when prey fish come about, in this case, salmon, and they go through a school of bait fish, in this case, herring, they slap them with their tail and they stun them. Once they're stunned, you'll get this wobble or this wiggle or this roll. And Vortex really simulates that wounded bait fish roll. And so that was the concept behind it. And that's what brought it to market. And if you take any time to watch schools of bait fish, particularly when they're being attacked, they begin to circle. And as they circle, you get an awful lot of light bouncing off those scales. So we put fibers in our skirts there that absorb or bounce or do various things with light to ensure that you add that sight, that action in that wounded bait fish roll. So those are the concepts behind that design.
That is super cool, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's so intentional and like
Yeah.
so like there's such a
Exactly.
thought process, and like you know, Damon, we're not very scientific. We're probably whatever the word is opposite
the
of
other end of
scientific. That's us. But I just love like how you've got it down to such an art in the science, Don, and like you're so methodical on how you've come up with this concept. You last week we talked a couple weeks ago, and you shared that some exciting news. Do you want to share? You had some nice wins for 2024. Do you want to share some of the exciting things that are going on at SenStriker? Anything that you want to share?
Sure. Yeah, well, what I shared is the one of the challenges as well as one of the wins. So we'll start with the wins. As you played the video, and I shared that video with you because we sent it out to new territory. We sent it down the West Coast. Let me take a step back. My marketing plan has always been Alaska first, get the foothold, go down the West Coast, then over to the Great Lakes area, which has a great salmon fishery. However, Alaska they're stubborn people. At times, and I wasn't making those inroads as I should. So I thought, well, I'm just going to take this video and I'm going to attach it to, in this case, Facebook, and send that ad out and try it. And so I went to various markets on the Pacific Northwest, and I went over to the Great Lakes, and it did so well that most of my orders came out of those areas, and we are on track to having our best revenue year since the inception of the company.
Hey,
Nice.
congratulations, well done, my friend. So
Awesome.
absolutely love it. You know, and it's having the courage to you know, like you said, not social media is not really your superpower, bandwidth, whatever, and it's getting out of your comfort zone and trying some different, unique things. Sami Jo, anything that you want to share? I know you're working with a lot of different manufacturers that are kind of tipping their toe in like new digital marketing. What are you seeing, and like your thoughts when you and I had this conversation with Don a couple of weeks ago?
No, I was thrilled. I'm just so excited for you, Don. I think that's amazing. And I think that Facebook ads, that's what it seems to be going. I know we've been talking about using some ads moving forward just with the MEP standpoint. And so just be able to put those ads out there and really pick and choose the different places that you can send them, and then to see the response and see that it's actually working. I mean, that's definitely the way it's going, is to be able to put the ads out there to reach newer audience. So I'm super happy that worked well for you.
Yeah, I love that. Go ahead, Don.
Well, I just said thank you. I appreciate that encouragement.
And I think, Damon, we talk a lot of like understanding who that ideal buyer is, because, and I love what let's recap what Don's doing here. So many manufacturers or just as marketers were like, and I'm guilty of it, trying to be everything to everybody. So like, hey, if I sell a fishing lure, well, I'm targeting every fisher person out there, right? Well, what Don's done, he's like, no, I want to get a foothold in Alaska. and then I'm going to go down the coast. And I'm like, well, there's been some challenges. I'm not really resonating with as many folks as I thought. So let me take a pivot. And so now methodically, I've got a new piece of content. I think you have maybe a family member, maybe a son who does a wonderful videos. I'm just guessing. And so you've got this killer video. And so now you just, hey, let me test the waters, pun intended. And speaking of pun, I got to pull this one up. Damon, did you see this comment from Diane?
Yeah, I did.
Sammy took the line from me. LOL. Sorry about the pun. No, we're not. Christmas gifts. Yes. Think my crew needs to test it in the Atlantic Ocean and East Coast fish. So Don, there you go, dude. You just cracked the East Coast thanks to coming on our little live show here. So absolutely love it. But Damon, anything that you want to share as far as like Don's, how he's the thought process behind the product itself, and then how he's attacking the market to try to crack the code there.
Well, I always love when someone has a problem and their business evolves from a problem in real life for them that they need to solve, right? And it's cool that you've been able to do this and then take your methodical and scientific approach at the challenge, right? Down to the point where you're just your vortex with the colors and then the whole combination of products. And you start with one, you're adding another one, you're adding a third product to really be able to continue to enhance that fishing experience for your customers. And then as Kurt said, you weren't getting the depth that you wanted to, or the penetration in the market you wanted in Alaska only. So you started to move into the other markets to see how that works. And that's turned out nicely. So just really cool.
Good stuff. So Don, let's go here. So as we're coming, I guess we're starting fourth quarter tomorrow. I don't know who plotted out the calendar. Where did 2024 just
cut out a
right?
few months there?
Geez, Don, so what are we looking forward to into 2024 and out and beyond? What's exciting for you looking down the road?
Let me go back and tell you about challenges. And I mentioned this to you before. And so there's a process in Juneau, Alaska at this point in time where we have this fine glacier lake that has now burst its banks. And it's happened twice. And so both in 2023 and in 2024 now, almost a year apart, in fact, it was a year and a day, our plant got inundated with water. And so fourth quarter is rebuilding the plant a second time in a little over a year. So with that, you'll see me take a step back a little bit and rebuild the plant, recondition my machines, and go from there. However, in that, the opportunities are we intend to try to bring what we're calling the Magnum product to the market next year. The Magnum is now the next size up for the Scent Striker product, and it'll have a larger diameter hole, and it'll be used for what I call the deep drop. For those, in fact, the East Coast could use it well. Any fish that is down about 200 feet or below, they use scent much more than those in the upper column. And the reason for that is light penetration. Fish evolve so that they adapt to their environment. So let's take advantage of that. Let's send out a bigger plume, scent plume for those deep drops. So that's the Magnum product. You put it on your line, same way. It'll take up to a 300-pound test line. And for Alaskans, that means halibut. So that's what we're working on. And we hope we have the stamina to bring it all together, fix the shop, and bring the new product out there.
Nice.
Well, so sorry to hear the news with the plant. And I know, I can't even imagine. I know our friends down south got hit with a horrible hurricane. And so
that's terrible.
These natural disasters are just not fun and friendly, definitely impact our businesses. And that's, back to the entrepreneurship of just, the tenacity and just love your relentlessness and just plow through these challenges. Sami Jo, you see all sorts of manufacturers going through, difficult times, difficult challenges. Why? I know, like, you love working with these manufacturers like Don. What are you super excited about coming into fourth quarter and going into next year?
Man, I am just super excited about just getting the opportunity to continue to work with manufacturers. So I'm just super excited that the MEP has been renewed again to continue serving Alaska and reaching new manufacturers. I feel like we've added a great superstar to our team. Megan, who has been wonderful, who is a manufacturer, and now she's on our team.
Yep.
So she really has that mindset of a manufacturer, but then is just so well connected with the manufacturing community. So that's just been amazing to get her added to our team. And so I'm super excited just to continue to grow in my position and be able to work with people like Don and others and just really see them, go through their challenges and grow. And we're just here to help them and see them succeed. And so every time I see you succeed or you're hitting your greatest sale year, which I'm super happy for you, I just get super excited because I love being able to learn more about what's being made in Alaska and seeing them thrive.
Well, excellent, Sami Jo. And just while you're on stage real quick, let's go, let's go here real quick. Share a little bit. You have a live stream show, and can you just share with folks on how can we learn more about the Alaska MEP?
Absolutely. So I do have our own live show. So thank you to Mr. Uncle Kerr up there who really pushed me and gave me the encouragement I needed to get started. So it's been honestly such a wonderful experience. I've had a lot of fun getting to meet and connect with. Look, there's Damon right there.
Who's that man from Devil right there, Sami Jo? Look at that. Look at that guy right there.
No, it's been wonderful because we've been able to have that easier reach out, that easier call to manufacturers to invite them on the show and learn about them with them not being a client, as well as to, have experts on the show like Kurt, like Damon, Jessica, other people from the MEP. It's been amazing. We try to do it. We do it every other Thursday at noon, just for 30 minutes. We try to have an expert on, and then we try to get a local manufacturer on just to share their story and then tips and tricks to how they got started to hopefully inspire other manufacturers in the state. And it's just been super neat to meet experts, meet more manufacturers, and just get them on the show and hear the story. So if you want to learn more about the MEP and other people that we've had on our show, please feel free to check it out. And we go live on Thursdays.
Yeah, I love it. And Damon, we got to visit this handsome guy at the end.
Yes, we did.
So we were actually on site at his manufacturing facility. And so, again, Sami Jo, just love what you guys are doing at Alaska MEP. Go to the Alaska MEP website. You can learn more there. Don, I know you got a lot of fish to catch here. So we've got fish to fry, fish to catch. I don't know how that saying goes, right, Damon? Yeah. So we'll start winding down here. Don, let's best question I love to ask every guest is, as an entrepreneur, when you made that transition from working government for decades, doing a wonderful job at the Port of Juneau, into your entrepreneurial journey, was there any particular advice that really resonated with you, that has helped you get through these challenges, these tough times? Best business advice that you've received?
Really, some days when you wake up and you look at your schedule, you look at the things that are thrown at you, and you're trying to figure out what to do, because some days it's just overwhelming. The best piece of advice I've ever received is just do the next right thing. And, whether it's the right thing for a customer, making them square, or giving them a better deal than they anticipated, that is so important, and it pays dividends in the end. So when you're overwhelmed, narrow it down to the next right thing and get that done, and then go on to the next. So that really has helped me navigate some of these tricky, we'll call them waters. So there you go.
Well, my friend, that was brilliant advice. I'm currently reading the book called The One Thing, and I feel like you just that was a total drop the mic moment. This book has sold like 3 million copies, and I feel that you just gave the exact same advice. And so that was just absolutely brilliant. Sami Jo, what advice would you want to share, or what do you kind of hear, working with a lot of manufacturers? How about advice that you that you share with manufacturers?
Yes, no, I think biggest advice is to be flexible and be adaptable. I just think that there's so many manufacturers. I mean, that is probably the biggest thing. You get started because you're so passionate about it, and that's why you're doing it. But then there's so many challenges, especially being a manufacturer in the state of Alaska, that you really have to be resilient and you have to be flexible and you have to be willing to adapt. And so it's like, maybe you do it a little bit slower, maybe you take some pivots, but you're still, as long as you are moving forward, you can't bite off more than you can chew. And so I like that, you're doing take the next step, but be flexible, be able to adapt, and you will get there to succeed. And then one of my favorite advice is something that you always say, Kurt, is, you can't be everything to everyone. And so I really think once you're able to niche that down and be flexible, really narrow down like who you're offering it to, that's when you're really able to find your market and find your audience and move forward to succeed.
Wow. Damon, man, it's almost unfair, the advice that we get on a weekly basis, isn't it? And so Diane drops a note, do the next right thing. That was a total drop the mic. Thank you, Diane. Brilliant advice from our friend, Don. Damon, your takeaways on the show today, what are your thoughts?
Oh, it's just cool to see Don's, the progress of your products and how things are going there. And I love how Sami Jo and the Alaskan MEP are working together with manufacturers, and you're reaching out, and because we all know that manufacturers, you're so busy working on your stuff that it's hard to just pick your head up and look. And with your outreach, Sami Jo, you're putting these people together, building a community that then they have more resources to solve these problems, and to even in the first place see that there's flexibility in what they can do in different ways, which is so cool because you're truly making a difference in the Alaskan economy.
Yeah, no doubt. And our friend Bill here says MEP centers are a valuable resource for our manufacturers. Bill, thank you. Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
As we start winding down, let's hey, Diane has a comment. I think I'm purchasing for myself. I can go out and fish my best catch. It would be a game changer.
That would be
Diane,
awesome.
Thank you for that comment right there. How awesome was that? Don, what would you share with friends, family, your dog, your pets about your experience working with Sami Jo and the wonderful human beings, the team at the Alaska MEP? What are your thoughts there?
Well, I'm glad you gave me that opportunity. One of the things I appreciate about my Alaska MEP is really, I'll call it tenacity. Just the fact that I get so focused on either rebuilding the shop and I ignore you all for long periods of time. I have this wonderful voice in the background called Sami Jo, who either drops me an email or really will pick up the phone and give me a call and get me back centered and get connected with you all. And that is invaluable from the standpoint that you're not alone. You've got friends, you've got neighbors, and we're in this together, I think, as somebody already said in the comment. And that voice, even when you don't want it, is significant.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Don. No, I love working with you, and I always love getting to catch up with you. So even when I'm ignored, I know you're always there, and eventually we'll get reconnected. And so, yes,
that's right. Well, we might have to get a little MEP chant here.
Yeah,
Sami Jo going, and Diane says MEP. So, all right, we'll start winding down. So, first off, Damon, I want to just thank everybody in the chat box for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us for this wonderful, amazing, incredible, inspiring conversation. So, thank you to everybody in the chat box. If you've been hanging out with us, great time. Maybe if you've been sitting down at your computer, stand up, stretch. Give a big round of applause for our wonderful guests here, Don, and for Sami Jo. They are just absolutely crushing it. And as Bill says, made in America. And I'll tell you, our manufacturers are the backbone of our economy, just like Don here and just like Sami Jo and the entire MEP network helping our manufacturers. So big shout out to these two. And Damon, we'll start winding down. As we close out, we just love to say, just go out and be someone's inspiration, just like Don, just like Sami Jo. And the world is going to be a much better place. So go to scentstriker.com. That is Don's website. If you are a Fisher person or you have a Fisher person in your life, what a great stocking stuffer. What a great Christmas, holiday gift, birthday gift, whatever holiday you celebrate. go to SendStriker. And if you are a manufacturer, check out your local MEP. We're going to close out. We have a wonderful, incredible, amazing guest coming back this Friday. We will see you there. So Sami Jo, Don, hang out with us for 1 minute, and we will see you guys soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.